Ever feel like the world is more ethically confusing than ever? From AI's moral maze to social media's tangled webs, modern life throws some seriously tough questions our way. What if the answers aren't new, but ancient? Discover how 2,000-year-old Stoic wisdom can cut through today's ethical chaos. Your moral compass feels broken, doesn't it? The ethical dilemmas of 2025 are unlike anything humanity has faced before. But what if the solutions to navigating tech's influence or corporate greed aren't about complex new theories, but a surprisingly simple ancient philosophy? Uncover how timeless Stoic principles can be your guide through modern morality. Because to a Stoic, the good life isn't about wealth, pleasure, or fame. It's about moral clarity, doing what's right, even when no one's watching. And in today's morally foggy world, their voice echoes louder than ever. This is Ancient Ethics in 2026, Stoicism's Guide to Modern Morality. We live in a world ruled by algorithms. AI decides what news we see, what music we hear, what we buy, and, increasingly, what we believe. But behind the code lies a question as old as philosophy itself. What is right, and who decides it? The Stoics believed morality begins in the mind, in the use of reason, guided by virtue. They taught that wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance are the four pillars of all good decisions. Now imagine applying that to artificial intelligence. What if every algorithm had to pass through those same four gates? Is it wise? Is it courageous? Is it temperate? Restrained from excess? Seneca once wrote, "No man is good by chance. Virtue is learned, and yet we expect machines to be moral by programming. But morality cannot be coded. It must be cultivated." Here's where Stoicism shines. Epictetus taught that ethics begins with self-control, with taking responsibility for what we can control, and releasing what we cannot. When applied to AI, that principle changes everything, because the true danger of AI isn't the machine itself, it's our abdication of responsibility. When we let algorithms decide who gets a job, who gets a loan, or who's worthy of attention, we risk surrendering human morality to mechanical logic. Stoicism reminds us, technology should serve virtue, not replace it. Marcus Aurelius would have seen AI not as evil, but as neutral, a tool. He wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." AI, like the universe, is constant change, but our moral thoughts must shape its direction. So the Stoic challenge for 2026 is clear. Don't fear AI. Fear the loss of virtue behind the screen. When we design systems, we must ask, does this promote wisdom or ignorance, justice or bias, compassion or manipulation? Because if we forget the Stoic law of benevolence, that every rational being is a brother or sister in the common good, then our machines will mirror our blindness. So before we teach machines how to think, we must remember to teach ourselves how to live. The Stoic way is not anti-technology, it's pro-consciousness. It tells us, use reason, but never lose humanity. Build, but never forget why you build. Program, but remember, the coder's soul shapes the code. In a world of digital noise and data-driven desires, Stoicism whispers a timeless truth, that ethics isn't an algorithm. It's a practice, a way of being, and so, as we face the dawn of artificial morality, the Stoics remind us that wisdom isn't found in machines, but in the mastery of ourselves. Because no matter how advanced our creations become, virtue remains humanity's highest technology. The world burns, not always in fire but in desire. We consume endlessly, scroll without rest, and fill the silence of our minds with the noise of wanting more. Our planet reflects us, overheated, restless, exhausted, And as ice melts and forests vanish, the question isn't just environmental, it's moral. How much is enough? How much is too much? 2,000 years ago, Seneca asked the same thing. He lived in an empire of excess, gold, feasts, slaves, power. But in his letters, he warned, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." That one line could save our century, because the Stoic way isn't about rejection, it's about moderation, living in harmony with nature and accepting limits not as punishment, but as freedom. Today, we talk about carbon footprints and climate data, but the Stoics would ask a deeper question. What does our desire say about our soul? We chase comfort while the planet screams for restraint. We worship abundance while drowning in waste. We measure success by consumption and forget that every product has a cost, not just to the earth, but to our character. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." So what color has modern life painted our souls? Plastic, neon, artificial. But Stoicism offers a return to simplicity, not minimalism as a lifestyle trend, but as a moral act. To the Stoic, moderation is resistance, a rebellion against chaos. It's choosing to need less so that others may have more. Imagine if consumption were guided by virtue instead of appetite. Would companies still sell excess? Would we still measure progress by profit? Seneca urged. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. That's not poverty. That's power. When you master desire, you master the world. The Stoics would see the climate crisis not as an external disaster, but as a reflection of internal imbalance. The planet mirrors our inner turmoil. We burn forests the way we burn ourselves, through impatience, indulgence, and ignorance. So what's the Stoic solution? Not despair, not denial, but discipline. Control what you can, influence what you must, accept what's beyond your reach, and live virtuously within your sphere. Plant trees, reduce waste, live with gratitude, not because it saves the world, but because it shapes you into someone who deserves to live in it. Epictetus would say, "Don't ask for things to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will go on well." This isn't passivity, it's perspective. To do what's right without needing the world to applaud, to act with integrity, even if no one notices. The Stoic doesn't save the planet to feel heroic. He does it because it's right. And when chaos feels too big, the Stoic retreats inward, to the one place always within control, the mind. There, simplicity begins. There, consumption ends. And in that quiet space, the world breathes again, because the Stoic truth remains eternal. If we can master our desires, we can heal not only ourselves, but the earth itself. In a world of constant noise, the Stoic stands still. While others chase validation, the Stoic seeks understanding. When everyone reacts, the Stoic reflects. But how do we bring this ancient strength into our modern lives, into a world of deadlines, screens, and endless distractions? It begins with a simple act: awareness. Marcus Aurelius began every morning reminding himself that he would meet selfish, angry, dishonest people, and that none of them could rob him of his peace unless he allowed it. That's the first Stoic lesson. You control your response, not the world. The modern Stoic mindset starts there, in the quiet moment between impulse and reaction. When your mind screams to respond, to prove, to defend, pause. Ask, is this within my control? If not, let it go. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In 2026, this might be the single most valuable truth to survive the digital age, because the greatest prison today isn't built of walls, it's made of reactions. Notifications, comments, opinions, they pull us like puppets. But the Stoic cuts the strings. Self-mastery begins with self-observation. That's why the Stoics journal daily, not for productivity, but for peace. Every night, Seneca wrote down his mistakes, his emotions, his choices, not to judge himself, but to refine himself. He understood, philosophy isn't theory, it's training. It's the gym for the soul. So in the modern world, journaling becomes your daily Stoic ritual. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I let emotion overtake reason? What can I do better tomorrow? This simple reflection rewires the mind. It turns chaos into clarity. It transforms mistakes into mirrors. The next Stoic exercise is negative visualization. It sounds grim, but it's a practice of gratitude. Imagine losing what you love, your health, your home, your freedom, just for a moment. Then open your eyes. You'll find that ordinary life suddenly feels extraordinary. Marcus called this training for fortune. By imagining loss, we learn appreciation. We stop taking the sunrise for granted. We stop needing constant more. The Stoic doesn't resist discomfort. He seeks it, because every challenge strengthens the character. Cold showers, delayed rewards, hard conversations, these are not punishments. They are practice. To the Stoic, comfort is the enemy of growth. They knew that ease makes the soul fragile, but challenge makes it unbreakable. Epictetus, once a slave, became one of the greatest teachers of freedom, not by escaping hardship, but by mastering his mind within it. That's the Stoic secret. Freedom isn't the absence of difficulty, it's the mastery of it. The modern Stoic doesn't live in a cave. He works, creates, earns, dreams, but does so with discipline. He owns his ambition without being owned by it. He uses wealth without worshiping it. He participates in society without being consumed by it. Stoicism isn't escape. It's engagement with integrity. It's walking through chaos without letting chaos walk through you. And when the noise of the world grows too loud, the Stoic returns inward, not to hide, but to rebuild. He reminds himself that peace is not found in perfect conditions. It's found in perfect principles. Wisdom, justice, courage, temperance, these are not ancient relics. They're eternal tools. Every decision, every conflict, every emotion can be measured against them. Is this wise? Is this just? Is this courageous? Is this moderate? That's the Stoic compass, never outdated, never broken. And when applied daily, it does something miraculous. It transforms ordinary people into extraordinary souls. In the chaos of modern life, the Stoic mindset doesn't promise comfort. It promises strength, not escape, but endurance, not noise, but clarity. Because to live like a Stoic in 2026 is not to reject the modern world. It is to rise above it, to think clearly, to act justly, to endure courageously, and to live peacefully, even in the storm. That is the essence of the modern Stoic mind. The modern world rewards noise. The loudest voice wins. The most outraged, the most dramatic, the most extreme, they rise fastest. But the Stoic, he does not shout. He observes. Social media has turned attention into currency. Every like, every comment, every view, another hit of validation. And yet, never before have we felt more unseen. Epictetus would call this a world enslaved, not by emperors, but by opinions. He warned, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's the opposite of social media culture, where we craft perfection, filter flaws, and measure our worth by strangers' approval. But the Stoic rejects this illusion. He seeks truth over image, character over clout, substance over spectacle. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire on earth and still reminded himself daily, Fame is empty. The applause of the crowd is a whisper carried by the wind. Imagine if every influencer, every content creator, every politician lived by that. What would change? Everything. The Stoic approach to social media isn't isolation, it's intention. Use the tool, but do not let the tool use you. Post with purpose, not for praise. Share wisdom, not vanity. And when you scroll consciously. Because every second you spend comparing your life to another's, you surrender the peace that Stoicism works so hard to build. The Stoics taught self-command. They believed freedom begins the moment you no longer need approval. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." Today, bravery isn't found in battle. It's in logging off, in refusing to be defined by metrics, in remembering that your worth was never meant to be measured in digits. So how does one live stoically online? First, practice temperance. Know when to stop. Know when silence says more than a post ever could. Second, practice justice. Treat every interaction as if it were face-to-face. No insults, no cruelty hidden behind anonymity. The Stoic respects reason, even in disagreement. Third, practice wisdom. Share truth, not trends. Consume knowledge, not noise. Let your feed reflect your mind. Calm, balanced, focused. And finally, practice courage. The courage to be real, to speak honestly, to admit when you're wrong, to live authentically in a world obsessed with appearance. Because Stoicism is not about withdrawing from the crowd, it's about walking among it without losing yourself. Marcus Aurelius faced endless criticism as emperor, but he never lashed out. He never retaliated with rage. He wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That is timeless advice, even for the digital age. So when the comment section turns toxic, when outrage fills your feed, when the world pressures you to respond with fire, pause, breathe. Remember, you can't control others, only your virtue, and that is enough. The Stoic doesn't post for attention, he acts for alignment. His measure is not popularity, but peace. In an age of filters, he shows his flaws. In an age of outrage, he practices reason. In an age of endless noise, he becomes the silence that others crave. That's the modern Stoic online, a calm voice in the storm. A moral compass in the algorithm, proof that even in a digital empire, virtue still reigns supreme. Power reveals the soul. It strips away masks, magnifying both virtue and vice. In the ancient world, emperors ruled with armies. In the modern world, leaders rule with influence. In business, in politics, in culture, and even online. But the same question remains, can power coexist with virtue? Marcus Aurelius proved it could. He led not by dominance, but by discipline. Not by control, but by character. In his meditations, written in the solitude of a war tent, he reminded himself daily, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That is Stoic leadership, not theory, but example. The Stoic leader understands that authority is borrowed, not owned. That every position of power is an opportunity to serve, not to be served. To lead others well, one must first master the self. Today, leadership is often confused with visibility. The louder you are, the more powerful you seem. But true Stoic leadership is quiet strength. The ability to stay steady when others panic, to act with justice when others compromise, to remain calm when others lose themselves in chaos. Epictetus taught that a ruler who cannot govern his own passions is unfit to govern anyone else. In that sense, self-control isn't just a virtue, it's leadership's foundation. Modern power tempts us in subtler ways. The CEO chasing endless growth, the politician promising what he cannot deliver, the influencer shaping minds without accountability. The Stoic response? Ask not what can I gain, but what should I give? Because every decision guided by virtue strengthens the world, while every decision guided by greed weakens it. Seneca advised Nero, a man who would later burn Rome, and warned him, "No one can wear a mask long. The false will fall away." He was right. History always unmasks the unvirtuous. The Stoic leader doesn't chase legacy. He earns it. He acts rightly, knowing reputation fades, but integrity endures. Imagine if our world leaders lived by Marcus's 4 virtues: wisdom, to make decisions rooted in truth, not emotion; justice, to serve the people, not the self; courage, to stand firm in the face of popularity storms; temperance, to know when enough is enough. Our world wouldn't need slogans, it would have standards. Stoic leadership in 2026 is about returning to this forgotten moral compass. It's leading without ego, serving without expectation, and acting without fear of failure or praise. Because as Marcus wrote, the object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. The Stoic leader doesn't follow the crowd, he steadies it. He is the calm in the crisis, the balance in the extremes, the conscience in the machine. In every era, humanity reaches a point where it must choose power or principle. And the Stoic reminds us, without virtue, power destroys both the world and the wielder. So whether you lead a nation, a company, a classroom, or your own family, remember this truth. You are always leading someone. Maybe millions, maybe one, maybe just yourself, but the standard remains the same. Lead with virtue, act with justice, speak with courage, live with temperance. That's not just Stoic leadership, that's timeless leadership. And in 2026, as our world wrestles with corruption, confusion, and collapse, we don't need more powerful people. We need more principled ones. For only those who master the self can be trusted to guide others, and only when leaders rediscover virtue will humanity rediscover direction. The world no longer sleeps. Every second, a notification, a crisis, a demand. Our minds are overstimulated, our emotions overstretched. We live in constant motion, but rarely in true awareness. Peace feels like a luxury, but to the Stoics it was a discipline, a skill, not a gift. They called it ataraxia, tranquility of the soul, a calm that cannot be shaken by fortune or fear. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." He ruled an empire in chaos, and yet he found serenity, not by escaping the storm, but by mastering the mind within it. That's the Stoic challenge for our time, to build peace not in perfect conditions, but in imperfect moments. Because chaos isn't the enemy, reaction is. You can't control the market, the headlines, the opinions, or the algorithms, but you can control your response to them, and that's where true power begins. Imagine starting each day like Marcus did, before the noise, before the messages, before the stress. You take one breath and remind yourself, "Today, I will meet distraction, anger, greed, and fear, but I will not let them rule me." That one thought changes everything, because peace doesn't come from avoiding life. It comes from engaging it with clarity. Seneca wrote, "If you are calm when others are in panic, you are stronger than any storm." He understood that the world is not stressful, only our interpretation of it is. So how do we live that truth today? Start by mastering the morning. Before screens, before chaos, center yourself. Read a few lines of wisdom. Journal your thoughts. Reflect on what truly matters. The Stoic begins each day not with urgency but with understanding, and ends each night not with distraction, but with reflection. When you feel overwhelmed, remember Epictetus's lesson. Some things are up to us, and some are not. Repeat it until it becomes instinct. Because once you accept that truth, life simplifies itself. You stop fighting everything. You stop reacting to every small inconvenience. You start conserving your energy for what truly deserves it. Tranquility is not weakness, it's strength restrained. It's the quiet confidence that no storm can steal your peace unless you hand it over. In a world that worships busyness, the Stoic slows down. Not because he's lazy, but because he values focus. He knows that every distracted moment is a stolen life. And so he chooses attention, the rarest currency of all. Peace is found in presence. Right here, right now, in the breath you're taking. In the moment you stop rushing and simply exist. Because no matter what chaos surrounds you, you are still the gatekeeper of your mind. Marcus called it the citadel within, a fortress that no one can breach unless you open the gates. So when the world overwhelms you, when anxiety creeps in, when everything feels uncertain, return to that inner citadel. Breathe, reflect, remember your power. Nothing external can shake the one who governs himself within. The Stoics. Peace isn't found in isolation, but in integration, in walking through life's noise untouched by its madness. That's what makes tranquility sacred. It's not passive, it's active. It's a daily choice to meet chaos with composure. And when you master that, you become untouchable. Because in the end, peace is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of principles. And once you build that calm within, no world, no storm, no crisis can ever take it from you. The ancients didn't have smartphones, social media, or artificial intelligence, but they faced something far more difficult, themselves. And that's why Stoicism still matters. Because technology evolves, society transforms, but the human soul, its desires, its fears, its struggles, remains the same. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy. It's a moral operating system and a framework for living rightly no matter how complex the world becomes. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. Epictetus was born a slave. Seneca was a statesman surrounded by corruption. 3 different lives. One shared truth. Virtue is the only true good. In 2026, that truth is revolutionary. We live in a world obsessed with results, but the Stoic focuses on intention. The world chases pleasure, but the Stoic pursues purpose. The world fears loss, but the Stoic practices letting go. It's not about perfection, it's about alignment, living so that your thoughts, words, and actions form one straight line. So what does it mean to live stoically in today's world? It means showing integrity when no one's watching. It means doing your duty without craving recognition. It means acting justly even when it costs you comfort. It means being kind when cruelty is trending. It means being free, not because life is easy, but because your mind is disciplined. That's the Stoic revolution. Quiet, invisible, unstoppable. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." That's the final challenge. Not to talk about Stoicism, not to quote it, but to live it. When you wake up anxious about the future, remember, the Stoic faces the day as it is, not as he wishes it to be. When anger rises, remember, the Stoic pauses, breathes, and acts with reason. When the world feels unjust, remember, you can't fix everything, but you can live justly yourself. When comfort tempts you, remember, discipline is freedom. And when you fail, because you will, remember Seneca's mercy. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Every mistake is a test, every challenge a classroom, every moment a chance to practice virtue. Stoicism doesn't promise you happiness, it promises you harmony. A life in balance with reason, nature, and conscience. And in that balance, happiness quietly appears. So as we step deeper into this uncertain century, a world of intelligent machines, environmental peril and moral confusion, and we don't need new philosophies. We need timeless ones, lived deeply, not discussed superficially, because wisdom doesn't age, virtue doesn't expire, and truth doesn't go out of style. In the end, Stoicism teaches us the simplest, hardest lesson. You cannot control the world, but you can always control yourself. That's the real frontier of the future. Not space, not AI, not progress, but character. If we can master that, we can master anything. So live by the code. Choose reason over rage, virtue over vanity, discipline over desire, service over status, For in doing so, you carry forward a wisdom that has survived empires, revolutions, and millennia. A light that will outlast the noise of our age. Because while the world races forward, the Stoic walks calmly, anchored in ethics, guided by reason, and unshaken by chaos. That is how you live stoically in 2026. That is how you live freely, courageously, and well. Virtue remains the highest technology, and wisdom, the truest revolution.